Robin. I wasn't expecting a visit from you so late. Normally at this time on Thursdays, you're dressing down for the bath, unless Crom is asking you for an opinion. Oh, I know your schedule very well. I was planning to finish with my work here in the next hour to come see you. No, you wouldn't remember making any appointment for that. I didn't say you'd be seeing me. I expect you came here for a reason. You don't usually visit me just for a chat. But please, don't take that as a reason not to. You know I'm always thrilled to see you. Oh, of course. Potions, hexes, or curses, anything you ask of me, your wish is my command. Here, you can sit on my cot. I've always thought you'd look good in my bed. In order to find the right spell to cure your woes, I'll need to examine you physically. There you go. I was right. You do look good. Now to see how you feel. Perhaps I spoke too soon. These bags under your eyes aren't very becoming. Not that it could ever be enough to diminish your beauty, but I hate to see you so worn out. It's your sleep, isn't it? I've noticed you tossing and turning much more lately. At least a 25% increase from before. Don't be so surprised. We've already talked about how I watch you sleep. It's all for your own good, you know. I've been brainstorming curses and hexes to help you ever since I noticed the disturbance. Why do you think I've been researching so hard? Well, whether you notice or not, it's true. It's good you've come to see me now, though. I couldn't cast an aura reading spell while you were sleeping. I would absolutely hate myself if I accidentally woke you up. But now that you're here, I can dig in deep and find what has thrown you so off balance. The human psyche is complex. Having this physical contact with you keeps me anchored and deepens our connection, which does help. But if you happen to know any specific pain points you want help with, I can put my focus there. No. A curse big enough to stop an army in its tracks would need several casters, and even then there's no guarantee someone wouldn't die. It may be good, but even I can't just snap my fingers and end the war. That depends on how long you want it to last. I'm guessing you don't mean just a little energy boost for the evening. No. Even helpful hexes come at a cost, either to the caster or the victim target. The hex that gave you enough energy to never need to stop fighting would only work if we chained together a long line of hexes, like feeding coal into a fire. There's a good chance that would wear you down, even if you couldn't feel it. I can't put my precious Robin through something like that. Well, here's your problem. Such a big tangle of dark, negative emotions lurking in the corner of your aura. You must feel this. Tell me, what's going on in your heart? Those are half-truths you're telling yourself. No, it makes sense why you think that way. The first part is true. Every minute of war, someone suffers. But the idea that you need to help them all as soon as possible, that's nonsense. Well, first of all, you're not the only person fighting. Even our camp is just a small part of the army. Second of all, if the war could be solved in a day, it wouldn't be called a war. That's an incident at best. A war is a long game. And if you're blaming yourself for every day it continues, no wonder you feel burnt out and exhausted. You need to rest and refuel between battles so you can keep fighting in the months to come. Who said anything about doing nothing? I said rest. Resting isn't nothing. Wrong. Resting helps you. And before you go off on a martyr's tangent, that's not selfish. Look, you think it's your responsibility to fight for good and change, right? Then obviously it's also your responsibility to not do anything that would jeopardize your ability to keep fighting. You're such a genius when it comes to tactics, but then you can't understand these simple facts. What about a knight? Do you think it'd be responsible for a knight to show up to guard duty drunk out of their mind? And why not? Exactly. And did you know that sleep deprivation can have the same effects as alcohol on the brain? Is it really so different? Then what if we were on a march in the field and I was assigned the last watch? Do you think it'd be responsible of me to stay up through all 3 of the watches that came before mine? No, but I'm just trying to help the others with their watches. Isn't it my duty to protect my fellow soldiers? And that's my point. Taking care of yourself is part of the job description. It's actually more irresponsible to pore over battle strategies and war reports 24/7. That cluster of dark emotions in your heart is starting to untangle now that I've been pulling at it. I found the guilt you mentioned, and there's the fear, which makes sense. But were you hurt in the last battle? Then why is there pain mixing in with your other emotions? I need to push deeper. Take a deep breath in. No, it won't hurt. Just don't be alarmed when you feel me inside you. Oh, of course it would be your empathy. That's just like you. You've overwhelmed your empathy center. It's all very metaphysical, not something easily understood. But you can think of your emotional core like a bucket divided into chambers. Each emotion is a sponge inside one of those chambers, and emotional triggers are pitchers of water that pour into them. So, for example, when someone dares to insult you, water pours into the anger chamber. And whenever I get to touch you like this, my love and joy chambers are absolutely flooded. I've grown used to it by now. Thank you for worrying about me, though. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. Right. Just like real sponges, these emotional sponges can only absorb so much water before they're oversaturated. Then, any extra water poured onto them fills up the chamber they're sitting in. If it keeps filling all the way to the top of the bucket, it overflows into the neighboring chambers. And that's how you get explosive reactions like screaming matches. Most of the time, though, it doesn't get that far, because most emotions have a means of wringing out the sponge and draining the chamber. That's why people cry when they're happy or sad, and why they feel better when it's over. Empathy isn't so easily drained, because it's a link between your feelings and another person's. The most intuitive way to drain it is to resolve the other person's emotion. If you see a child crying, you might try to cheer them up in order to ease their sorrows and in turn drain your empathy burden. But some problems are too big to fix so easily, or even on our own. You've been paying constant attention to every death, every town overwhelmed by enemy soldiers, and every family torn apart. These things are important. They are worth fixing, but they cannot be fixed quickly. And so you're constantly flooding your empathy chamber without offering that emotion anywhere else to go. And now it's overflowed and flooded all of your other emotions, filling their chambers as well. But because you haven't been letting yourself take breaks, you aren't taking time to drain those chambers either. The reason you feel so heavy and exhausted is because you're allowing the war to fill your entire bucket until there's no room for any new emotions to bloom. You're drowning in your own feelings and too tired to even tread the water. Not all hope is lost. I have a spell that can help drain some of the water, at least enough to give you back the strength to work on your own recovery. It works best if you sleep on it, though. You don't have anywhere else to be for the next 10 hours, right? Chrome can live a night without your thoughts and battle plans. If you're not keeping watch or actively fighting, then cancel all your plans. Actually, give me your palm. With this sigil, I cast my hex upon you. For the next 10 hours, you will not talk about the war. You will not read about the war. You will not go looking for fresh news about the war, nor open it when it's delivered to you. You are going to put it wholly out of your mind and find yourself an escape from what's going on outside of camp. An escape can be anything. Reading a book, playing a dice game with the other shepherds, going for a jog with Crom, baking a cake, or if you're interested in a more physical, fine. No. Putting the fight out of your mind for one night isn't irresponsible. It's the only way to release the overwhelm in your heart, and until that overwhelm is gone, you won't be able to keep fighting for peace. Besides, everyone here looks to you for guidance, even Crom. If they all see you working yourself to the bone and never resting, they're going to do the same. You lead by example, and if you carry on like this, you won't be leading us to victory. You'll be leading us all off a cliff. Isn't that what morale is all about, anyway? You have to give soldiers some hope and some fun if you want them to survive the grueling fights ahead. You know, most people who worry if they're doing enough are usually doing more than they have to. People who don't bother to try either think they're king of the world or don't care about anyone but themselves. They're not like you, Robin. You've done so much for us. Make sure you find the time to do something for yourself, too. Oh, I was done with my spell a while ago. I just like touching you. But it looks like the effects are starting to hit you. Your head keeps drooping. That's good. That means you'll fall asleep easily. You should lay down now, before you pass out. Go on, lay in my bed. I'll tuck you in and watch over you, just like I always do.